And away we go, just like Jackie Gleason.
Yeah.
He's the one that just killed all of he and what was the other one's name that had the variety show?
I don't know
He
what.
was the one that more or less killed the movie industry and people going out and everything else.
Oh, Ed Sullivan?
Huh?
Ed Sullivan?
No, it's Sunday night. What's his name? Milton Berle.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Milton Berle.
Oh, yeah, you're talking about it a whole lot earlier.
Yeah, Milton Berle says, "Good afternoon, ladies and germs."
Yeah.
Hey, folks, welcome to the Wild Bob and Ronnie Show. All you folks watching down there in Pendergrass, Georgia, I want to tell you hi, and I appreciate your hospitality so very, very much. I had a breakdown down there, and it wasn't one of these country music breakdowns either. It was a mechanical breakdown, and I broke down right in front of the Pendergrass flea market, which is only open on Saturdays and Sundays, but they let us park inside the fence, charged absolutely nothing. We sold a few watermelons while they were there. We were there, and they would not charge us anything for staying there. So we want to urge you, if you're going down I-85 and you go through Pendergrass, Georgia, stop at the flea market.
Let me see if this calls for us
Right,
or for
okay.
Circle Arm.
Doug TV. Hey.
Your business needs working capital?
What do you
Does your business need working capital? Yeah!
Yeah, Pendergrass Flea Market, right on I-85. I forget what exit that is, but it's right after you come to going south, right after you come through Commerce, Georgia, and it's there at Jackson, Georgia. So they more or less run together, two little towns. Very nice people.
And they didn't ride you out of town on a rail?
No, you know, if I'd had a breakdown on highway on say Jacksboro Pike here, which is not a whole lot busier than the one I had to break down on, I would have been pinned up against a trailer, frisked. Had been 4 or 5, maybe 6 law enforcement vehicles there, and I probably would have been incarcerated for some reason or other.
Well, I could understand that. Especially you down there look like you'd had a whooping.
But then I broke down in North Carolina also.
Well, boy!
And I wheeled into a side road, and it wasn't but a little bit. A county mountie showed up, and he says, "You having trouble?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "I think I got everything underway." He says, "Is there anything I can help you with?" I said, no, I don't reckon really, except when I get to pay this bill, I might need to call on you. He said, no. He said, on my salary, don't call me.
Well, you just scattered parts all over 2 states, didn't you?
Well, I got, when I broke down Georgia, I got more or less patched up. So hopefully I thought I could make it on in, you know. But my esteemed mechanic does not know how to tighten a bolt or nut or how to use Loctite or anything else. I knew I was in trouble when the seat come loose.
Yeah, and the steering wheel.
Then I got on up the road and the seat belts come out in my hand. And I should have known that would have been a forewarning of things to come.
And then you really got upset when the brake pedal come loose and the steering wheel fell off, didn't you?
Let me tell you, cause I had an old, I believe it was probably a 59 Jaguar XKE. Had old long 8-cylinder or 12-cylinder, I don't know what it was, I forgot.
12-cylinder.
Probably may have been an old long straight 12-cylinder engine. Had a hood on it about far from here to the courthouse. And I love to drive that thing, especially in months like this. And a lot of times it was a repossession. I worked for Associates Discount Corporation at that time that financed. We had maybe $4 or $5 million in outstanding in that office, and I handled all the collections. and we did not lose a penny on anything we had to repossess all year long. Did not lose a penny. Only office in the whole country didn't lose any money. But one of the reasons we did, and I'll get back to the Jaguar in just a minute, was you take, what do you remember, townhouse motels? Were there ever any of them out here? Well, it was a chain of motels that was in Virginia and North Carolina, and it was started by a man by the name of William P. McPhillamy. And somehow or another, McPhillamy got a little bit too big for his britches or something. But
You know what he do, run for mayor?
A very popular motel restaurant chain became insolvent. In other words, went busted. We had probably 200 to 300 of these little old Ford cab over the engine trucks. What do you call them things? Little pickups. It was a cab over the engine. You know, the engine was, you know what I'm talking about? I forget what you call them. I must have had 100 or 2 of them financed, and I had to repossess all of them, round them up and everything. Well, William P. had an almost new Continental finance with us, which whatever he wanted, he got. It probably cost $15,000 at that time, and he probably borrowed 18 on it, you know.
Well, you understand why he went busted now,
yeah,
I guess.
Well, he probably did borrow more than but he left the country, tried to vamoose, you know. And that was before the Mexican. He didn't vamoose, he tried to leave the country. And we located him down in Miami Beach, Florida. Well, we had so much money in that Continental that the only way we could come out and make any money was bring it back up there and retail it, sell it for more than what it was worth, and finance more than what it was worth on again. You know, that's why we did a lot of these things, so we could come out. Well, they located in Miami, and my boss man says, I'll tell you what, dude, says, I'll pay your expenses and give you $200 or $300 if you'll go down there and bring that Continental back. Well, you know me, I was always game for anything. I said, well, let's go. Well, we took Ralph Darling, who owned Oakwood Trailer Sales.
He's the guy that used to make music with Andy Griffin.
No, this wasn't one of the Darlings that played together.
Okay.
This was Ralph Darling's, and it would take up an entire segment of the program to tell you about Ralph Darling, who came there sleeping in the back of an ancient car, selling little old travel trailers, and became one of the wealthiest men in the mobile home business. Owned Oakwood Trailer Sales completely. All right, I could tell you a whole segment on that, but we flew Ralph's. It was a 242 double-engine airplane down there. Well, you know, I'd flown a little bit, but I didn't have any pilot's license or anything. Well, all of them got drunk on the way down there. They said, Bob, fly this thing down there. Keep it on this beam. So I'd fly along several hours, and all of a sudden, this jet, one of those with the engine on the back, 2 on the wings, I forget what they call them. I used to know. But it came down to land about a mile in front of us. Well, the turbulence from that airplane woke everybody up, and I was riding that thing out, man. And woke up, and we found out we were on the wrong beam. We were supposed to be going into DeKalb Airport outside of Miami, but we were headed straight into Miami International Airport. So they put us on the right beam, and whoever was supposed, I believe Jim Levesque was his name. He's the one that took over control. He was a heck of a pilot. He was such a good pilot, he got killed doing stunts.
That's always good.
He had his own line of airplanes, stunt planes that he sold, and he was showing off down at Kinston, North Carolina, and he clipped the top of a tree. But that's another story too. So we landed that thing in DeKalb Airport, and one of our branch managers picked me up. Well, we forgot the dealer tag to go on that Continental. So we scribbled out a tag on the back, you know, and we had the registration card but no tag, and told them that somebody had stolen the tag, you know, and so I get myself into that Lincoln Continental, and I said, well, I'm going to spend the first night in Miami, Florida. So I go to the Fontainebleau.
The what?
The Fontainebleau Motel Hotel, which was really large, if you ever seen it. I mean, it had shopping centers downstairs and everything. So first thing I did, I go out to the swimming pool, and they were filming Route 66, and the whole crew was out there drinking and cutting up around the swimming pool. So I go back in and buy me a bathing suit and still take one of the towels out of the room and get me a pair of sunshades, and I'm right in there with them. They're passing drinks around and they're feeding me just like I'm a member of the cast, you know. So, and I talked to several of them. So that was my first night at Miami.
You didn't run into Forrest Gump, did you?
Huh?
Didn't run into Forrest Gump, did you?
No. So I headed up the East Coast, and that was at the height of Cape Canaveral. All those little towns had some joint going all night long. A lot of them had 4 and 5 bands that would come in and take over from them. They just kept going 24 hours a day. And it took me, I think, 13 days to come back from Miami. Well, my boss man, it was before cell phone. I'd call anyone, where in the HR? I'm coming on. I ain't gonna tell you what he called me. Oh, he loved me to death, but I ain't gonna tell you what all he called me.
I bet he didn't send you after nothing else.
I finally pulled back into Greensboro with that Continental, and I handed him my bill, which I did on his charge card, and it was $540 for liquor. He said, how can one fellow drink that much liquor? I said, no, when I drink, everybody drinks. Well, he didn't fire me. We got the old Continental back. We cleaned that thing up, and because he depended on me to do things like this. I'll tell you at a later date about my trip to Boise, Idaho to get one. But we brought that thing back. We cleaned it up, and we caught somebody that had enough down payment to justify financing that thing, and we financed it for him. He says, now, don't let him get behind. Said, if he's one day behind, you go collect the money or pick the car up. So, but he paid it out, and I remember the man's name. I'm not going to call him. He's a pretty good old guy, but he lived over there beside of Chinkapin Mansion and Plantation in Reedsville, North Carolina. You have to look up Chinkapin.
That's a nut.
Yeah, I look up and see what about Chinkapin. You'll enjoy learning about that. But you lived over there on Chinkapin.
You mean to enjoy the nut or enjoy the place?
Huh?
Well, I enjoy reading about the nut.
Well, you enjoy reading about Chinkapin. Yeah, you sure will.
The place or the nut?
No, well, you can learn about it. Well, there actually is a Chinkapin tree.
I know.
Okay, but you'll learn about, enjoy about the mansion that was.
Okay.
It was a log mansion built
Well,
out
that's
of
what I was
log.
trying to find out. Did I want to read about a house or a nut?
Yeah, okay, well, a little bit of both. But William Penn, who founded the
Pennsylvania?
American Tobacco Company.
William Penn?
This one did. His name was William Penn, also not the one you're thinking about. And his wife, I forget what her first name was, but she was an heir to the power company in New York. I forget what.
Edison?
Con Edison. She was an heir to Con Edison in New York.
I wonder if she's a Con or a Edison.
Yeah, but she very
Miss
fine. I never met him.
Consolidated.
He was deceased when I was looking for this guy on this Continental because he was one day late, and he lived on that plantation. And I went up there and asked him if he knew where he lived. She said, no, I don't believe I know him. Said he could live here on the plantation, but we got about 3,000 acres, something like that. I don't know who it was a black lady. And Mrs. Penn says, who is that? I believe her name was Lydia. Who is that, Lydia? Said, some gentleman looking for. She said, oh, I know him. Said, have him come in. Well, I went in. She found out I was from the University of North Carolina, which she later left that plantation to the University of North Carolina. And she, would you like a glass too? I said, no, ma'am. I said, I drink tea, hot tea. I said, I like a cup of coffee. She said, Lydia, would you make this nice man a cup of coffee? And I'd go by there every once in a while and talk to Mrs. Penn. You need to look those people up. They are very, very prominent and interesting.
Well, what has all this got to do with the Jaguar?
All right, now, meanwhile, back at the Jaguar place, this company I worked for repossessed a lot of cars, and they repossessed this 1959 Jaguar XK E12 or 16. I don't remember what it was. But to make a long story short, when you pulled out of the parking lot there at the store, the road went this and then another one merged in. You went around a real sharp curve like this, and Greenwood Cemetery sat there on the right. And there's a story about Greenwood Cemetery that I'll tell you later. So I pulled out there and stopped at the stoplight, and two good-looking gals got up beside me. Well, you know them old Jaguars are slow anyhow, and you just sound like they're fast. And I sat there, went boom, 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 and letting them know I was going to race them when they dropped the when the light turned green, which I did. And I popped the clutch on that thing, and the steering wheel come off in my hand, and there I was, barreling up toward that turn. Done change. I think come out when it hit second, you know. And there was barreling toward that turn with the steering wheel in my hand. I hit the brakes, and all four tires just slid right up across the curb and through the shrubbery, and I was almost on somebody's grave. I got that thing.
I bet that impressed them, didn't it?
They went down the road just a laughing at me. But that's the story of the Jaguar.
Somebody I know out and around home once upon a time ended up the steering wheel come off, and I drove the car home with a pair of ice grips.
It's about like I had a little old 37 Plymouth that had knee action.
Knee action?
That's what they called the front. They had knee action.
Oh, okay.
And I went to turn left, and the tie rods come off. Right through the intersection.
If you need any car parts to fix your knee action, you need to call Napa Auto Parts, 562-9406, up there straight across from the IGA store, and they got parts galore. They're just a veritable cornucopia of parts. They've got anything you might need in the automotive line. The good people do business
I guarantee
with.
I hope you buy all of them up there, but if not, do you know they got affiliates down in Pendergrass, Georgia?
All the way down there?
Yeah.
Did they know Randy?
Well, I didn't get a chance to ask him, because the guy that was working on there, he had NASCAR to deliver them. But they had a van instead of little
Napa.
Yeah, Napa. Well, NASCAR. I mean, he drove like he was with NASCAR.
Well, let me ask you something. Just what exactly did you do? Did you have to replace the transfer case?
After what?
Did you have to replace the transfer case?
Yeah.
What'd you do with the old one?
I traded it in.
Reckon they'll rebore it?
They probably will. See, it was just nothing in there, just all the cogs had come out, you know.
The cogs? I thought the bolts come loose.
Huh?
I thought the bolts.
No, but I mean, as a result of the bolts being loose, it wore it out. It didn't fall off. It just wore it out.
Well, you done better than Richard then, didn't you?
Yeah. But Napa, you know, they'll deliver you parts quicker than NASCAR can.
Yeah. So what else have you been into besides...
Well, I don't know. I was just listening today. You know, I am so sick of our politicians trying to cater to everybody.
Well, Amp Duck done fixed that there.
Plank Duck,
he done fixed that.
Plank's gonna get in that Mexican boat now.
He done fixed that there immigration bill.
Right, now, let me tell you something. A study come out today, you may have heard it, that if, what's the guy's name that ran on the Republican ticket this year? Mitt Romney. That if Romney, the Democrats got 70% of the Latino vote, he got 30. Okay, John McCain got 33. George Bush got 30. If he had gotten 70% of the Latino vote, Mitt Romney still would have lost.
No.
So why would you want to pick up and cater to a ethnic bloc, regardless whether it's white, black, purple, it don't make no difference? Why would you want to do that?
Well, I don't think they're going to vote as a bloc anyway.
Huh?
They're not going to vote as a bloc anyway. The ones that I mean, you're not going to entice them away as a bunch.
The only people they say that looks at the Latino vote as a bloc vote is people who are not Latinos. They really are pretty diverse.
Well, I don't understand why they do what they do. I know one thing. The Republicans are about the only people in the world that can have such a big party of idiots. They'll fall for anything.
Oh, they crumble. They crumble, you know.
I don't understand it. I just don't understand it at all. If you can't stand for something, you don't stand for anything, and they don't stand for anything because they just out there just.
All they gotta do is somebody say boo, and they run.
I still think, you know, they say they sure left. I mean, these right-wing radicals, they ruining the party. You can't get elected to the Tea Party and stuff. If they had somebody out there to stand for something, they'd get some votes.
Oh yeah, I guarantee you, if they had had a strong conservative running,
Yep.
see, you cannot out Democrat the Democrats.
Yeah, no.
And that's exactly what we've tried to do with
Twice.
John McCain and with Mitt Romney. We tried to be more of a Democrat party than they were.
Well, they're going to run that other Bush and Chris Christie next time.
And who?
Chris Christie. So we're going to get our own Republican
I
Democrat.
guarantee you, I will vote for,
You can vote for Hillary if you want to.
I probably would.
Well, I believe I would too if I'd vote for either one of them people.
Right.
I'm tired of that. I'm tired of them people. If you can't stand for something, just get out of the game and go home. They ain't.
Why would you even have an election if you don't have a contrast, a difference between the candidates?
John McCain, I don't know why he runs on a Republican ticket. He ain't done nothing as a Republican since he's been in there.
No, never has.
Except get elected. Well, what I know.
Well, me too. I mean,
I can't figure politics. I mean, I see people, I wouldn't take to a hog killing and they get elected mayor and everything else.
I'd be very careful before I let them get the chitlins out.
Yeah, especially I wouldn't want them hollering them out.
You said that right.
Taking it home with them. So, what else, Bobby T? Anything going on?
Well, I don't know. It's just locally. I don't know. How did we do down at the finance company meeting the other night?
Well, they made Tom Hatmaker look like a fool.
Why? Because he didn't want to raise.
No, they just come in there. See what they done. They suckered them out there on Tuesday night and stayed home, and let them go down there and present their case so they'd have 2 days to work on a rebuttal. So when they went back on Thursday, they just said, "Well, you can't do that." They said, "You know, you're going to cut off this $140,000 out to Campbell County Park." Well, okay, $100,000 of that is matching money. I'm making these numbers up. I'm in the ballpark. Going to cut out that, you're going to lose $100,000 because that's the only thing it can be used for. So you're really only going to save. You're only going to save $25,000 to $30,000, and went on through the whole litany of the things. How he used matching funds, and all it boils down to is, yeah, you're going to lose all this your money that you're not going to get to spend for the state, which is somebody's taxes, but you're not going to get this matching grants, so you're going to lose all that money. But really, you ain't lost it. You just ain't got to spend it. You did get to spend this other money that went with it, and then got something you didn't need, like paving the roads. So they cut his $1.2 million savings down to about $200,000 or $300,000, and if he'd have went with his original numbers on the finance department, he'd have been up $500,000. Well, that ain't the million that they need, but it's halfway there.
Well, sure. And look, when you get matching funds to do this walking trail, which I guarantee there's not been a dozen people to walk that trail since they built it. At least they didn't come through La Follette.
Well, that's the city, but it's the same way. The city can't balance their budget now either.
Well, I'm sure the county has some involvement on a walking trail up there in the county.
I wouldn't doubt it. I know we've got that there, got that incubator. I don't know whether I'm sure we're putting some matching money in that too, and we ain't getting a damn thing out of it.
Well, just as soon as they spend that $200,000 that the federal government provided, they're going to close the damn thing up.
Well, no, they'll try to keep it open until they run out of funding.
That's what I say. As soon as
they'll try to finance it out of our pockets till it run plumb out.
You know, what in the world, having an incubator, if you ain't got no eggs in it, or if you got eggs in it, you can't even tell what you're hatching.
Well, I just don't, I don't understand a lot. Well, I do understand. It's not a business idea. It's completely bad business to do it. But why they do it is they like to spend that money. Because the more there's floating around, the more of it settles in predetermined places. So that's the reason for all this illogical business moves. But they come out with that argument, you know, we're spending $300,000 on something, but the state's putting up $200,000, and we're only having to spend $100,000, so we're not going to save $300,000.
We're only having to spend $100,000.
Yeah, so we're not going to really save $300,000. You can't count that. You'll lose that other two. You just get to save $100,000. Well, you stop and think about it. You ain't lost the $200,000. You just didn't get to spend it. And the $100,000 that you used to buy something you didn't need, the $100,000 that you used to buy something you didn't need, ain't wasted.
Right.
But, you know, that's a business way of thinking about it, and that ain't the way they do business in politics.
I think we ought to elect a group of county commissioners.
We done that.
No, I'm talking about...
Did you say elect or lynch?
Well, elect a group of county commissioners that would say we are accepting no more grant money.
That'd be all right. We'd actually be better off.
We'd be far money ahead of the game.
We'd quit spending money on stuff we didn't need, chasing that there free money that ain't free.
Well, it's like the federal government, all they're trying to do is influence your thinking and the way your lifestyle goes, you know. They won't really tell you the reason you need a walking trail is because ain't nobody going to be able to afford to drive for too long.
Well, I'll tell you one thing you can afford to do. You can go down to Digger Wilson and get you some propane.
I guarantee that.
562-5444 right in the middle of the road in Sawmill Holler and Diggers and
I'm going to go ahead and buy my... I wonder if you got any winter propane left.
I don't know. Are you cold?
No, but I was going to go ahead and buy some for next winter and store it up.
I guess you could do that. He's got that there camping propane and that there grilling propane.
Right.
And that there light propane for your lantern.
Right. And I'm sure sometime out of that other 46 flavors of propane, he's bound to have some winter propane.
He's got that mesquite and he's got that hickory flavor.
Well, yeah.
I used some of that hickory flavored over the weekend.
Right.
On some ribs.
I wonder if he's got any of that pinto bean flavor.
I hope not. 562-5444 for all your propane needs.
That's Wilson's propane. That's Baskin Wilson.
Baskin Wilson.
You know he's probably down there on his computer. Did you know he's getting to be a computer hound?
No, I didn't know that.
He sure is.
What's he doing?
I don't know. He's bound to. I don't know how the world can you send propane out over the internet.
Well, he's going to start an internet delivery service, I think. You just download it.
Right. But he is. He's on the keyboard about every day.
Well. That's bad news for Obama, ain't it?
Said that right. Obama's had it.
Yeah, he declared war on coal today.
On who?
Coal.
Yeah, I know that, yeah.
Yeah, all you UMWA guys that's supporting the Democrats, just remember they're working just as hard as they can to put you out of business.
Right, and you know, Obama did something that nobody else has ever been able to do.
What's that?
He turned West Virginia Republican.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, old Harry Byrd.
Robert
Byrd. Robert
you
Byrd.
talking about the Grand Wizard?
Yeah. He was a grand poopah up there for years, and he's a Democrat. But I don't believe he could pull Obama's fat out of the fire on
I
this.
don't think he could either, really. I went to a little old town up in West Virginia that is labeled as the buckwheat capital of the United States.
Well, just as long as it wasn't a Buckeye capital, we're all right.
Buckwheat capital of the United States. And they have a buckwheat festival, you know, buckwheat pancakes, this, that, and that. And they were up there, said, I know a lot of you had trouble finding this little town. Said, we're very prominent, but we're not all that easy to find. I said, I'm still having trouble with West Virginia. I didn't like that too good.
West Virginia, if you just get in a ditch and stay in it, you're there.
Oh, it's about like me when I used to drink. I'd put my right wheel in the ditch and follow it home.
And now I'm telling you, West Virginia, I mean, I've been in parts of it where you actually can't see daylight but car of the day.
My brother said the first time we went up there camping, he parked on the wrong side of the mountain. Said sun didn't come up at 11:30.
Well, I believe it, 'cause I tell you, it's just they built all the roads in the ditch.
Right. See, somebody just called me and hung up. See, I never hear my phone till they hang up.
Well, you ain't missing much.
Huh?
You ain't missing much.
No, Dad. See who that was. Uh-oh, public creditor. No. Oh, 40. Oh, I know. That's up here. Let me get this. Okay.
We just all work on the phone.
Yeah. Hello? Hey, hello? I don't want to record no mute message.
Well, folks, welcome to the Wild Bob Ronnie.
Get something out of the refrigerator.
Telephone hour.
Huh? Okay. Hey, folks, we got two conversations going. Hey. You call me? Oh, yeah, no. What? There's a little bitty one down here. What do you need? All right, come on down, not the big one, but go past where the gates are, and it's the next little building. Okay? I'll knock on the door, and I'll give you the key. All right. I reckon.
Well, folks, just knock on the door and we'll give you the key.
They knock 3 times on the ceiling if you want me. Bap on the floor if you
Twice
want
on the pipes.
Huh?
Twice on the
On
pipes.
the pipes. If
the answer's no.
I don't know. You know, I was a grown man. I done forgot all that. You only learn these songs. Now, I remember the ones when I was a child.
You mean like Amazing Grace?
Well, not like...
Well, it hadn't come out yet, had it?
Like Jesus Loves Me, Cha Cha Cha.
I thought maybe you was talking about Amazing Grace.
Right.
That was back before John Newton wrote
I bet
that.
you can't tell me the song that made Lefty Drizel famous. Not Lefty Drizel Senior, Junior, but Senior.
Well, I don't know. I forgot.
Oh my God, it's just, oh, it's supposed to be, we're on television. What are we on television for?
You have a mug shot out on you.
Oh, you're so silly.
Huh? Yeah. See that.
Alright.
I just work here, folks. I don't work very hard, but I just work here. Lefty Frizzell.
What are you looking at, buckwheat? Yeah.
On Black Veil? No.
You did. I'd walk for miles.
I love you.
Cry or smile for my mommy and daddy. I want them to live until they're old. That was his first big hit. And I remember when, what's his name? I don't know. I remember them all.
Look, folks, tune in tomorrow night. We won't sing.
Right, there you go.
What else is going on?
Well, I used to sing those old songs when I was a kid. My daddy thought they were awful. He thought it was about as bad as the rap music they sing now. But the preacher that set up on my trailer up on my wagon up here, he's a pretty good singer and picker. I bought a real nice guitar today if anybody's looking for one. It's a 6-string guitar, which most of them are, but you can play a little bit of Spanish music on that. You can.
Your phone's ringing.
Huh?
Your phone's ringing.
Again?
Yeah, this is Bob Call-In show.
Yeah. Hello? Here it is. Hey. Hey, hon, are you watching us on the tube? Are you watching us? Oh, well, good. Hey, Cindy, this is the lady that picked me up. Did you hear my story last week? All right, let me tell you, I told them the story. I told them about breaking down there in Pendergrass, and I said, besides I'd get a little diesel fuel so we could keep the air running on the truck and everything. I said, I was walking up the road, and I told it this way last week, and I said, this late model SUV with a good-looking lady in it stopped and picked me up. I said to myself I was getting in, I said, oh, Bob, you still got it, hadn't you, boy? I said, then I got in the SUV, and she told me that I reminded her of her daddy walking up the road the reason she picked me up. I said, she just busted my bubble wide open. So, oh, Lord, I think about you and appreciate you so much, and just real glad to hear from you. And they were good watermelons, weren't they? Yeah. Really were. I appreciate you so much. You know, I broke down later on up in North Carolina because we just patched it there. It cost me $2,100 to get out of that place. I said, where is Cindy when I need her? Well, we appreciate you watching, and we were just telling about Pendergrass just a little bit ago. I guess you caught that.
Tell her she can watch the beginning, it'll rewind.
Yeah. Well, if you want to, you can watch it on rewind. But, oh, really? Whereabouts? Oh, yeah, I know that area real good, you know, and sure do. I used to work up in Stanton, Virginia, and I was over in to West Virginia right much. So that's great. Say your mom, she was born with one leg shorter than the other so she could walk on level ground there. Is she still living? You give her my regards, okay? And your dad also. And until I tell your dad I haven't seen him, but he's bound to be a good-looking man if I reminded you of him. Okay? All right. Thank you so much for calling. Thank you. That was the lady.
Now we could get an international show going here if you'd break down enough places.
I need to break down a few more different places.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I guarantee you there's 4 or 5 watchers from North Carolina right now as a result of this break. Now, maybe we could go on, these country breakdowns that they have. Maybe we could go on this
I think we ought to get on Duck Dynasty.
breakdown tour, and stimulate our program.
I guess we could.
Right.
I tell you what we ought to do. We need to get us one of them there rigs like you run around in and a helmet cam, and we can just go around and film our adventure. Shame we didn't have cameras. They'd probably put us in jail. But if we'd had cameras and we tried to break in Y-12, we might have been a little better known.
Yeah, folks, I think we told you in the past, but Ronnie and I, we were looked on as a couple of terrorists breaking into Y-12 nuclear plant.
We tried to break in Y-12 before everybody got to doing it. And they made us come in so they could see who we was. We just want out of there.
Cindy, I hope you're enjoying the program, but there's no way anybody will ever enjoy it as much as Ronnie and I do cutting up here. Now, we enjoy it.
Well, I know one thing. Since I met Bob Andrews, life has certainly taken a turn for the worse. You got me into more junk. Of course, I helped out a little bit, but
right.
I mean, so far you got me banned from the city and run out of politics.
But one thing I haven't got you banned from. If something happens to you, you feel free to call Vital Care.
That's right. You tested them out.
562-9370.
I want to show you how dedicated Bob Andrews is to this business. We started out, we said we wasn't going to advertise for anybody unless we knew their services was good. And this man right here took it on his own to ferment and drink some rotten tomato juice just so he could get to ride in a Vital Care ambulance and see whether there's any good. And they've got his stamp of approval, and we've been advertising hard for him ever since.
I guarantee you.
If you got any rotten tomato juice need to drink it, just call Bob.
I do give them my stamp of approval. They have tender, loving care, not taking anything away from the county's ambulance service. But if you want tender, loving care, and people that the only hope they have of staying in business is the fact that you use their business.
562-9370.
That's Vital Care.
Vital Care. Bob's got more company than Holiday Inn. There ain't much of a way to run a television show, but it's a good way to run one of these things.
I know a lot of good people.
You know some bad people too.
Yeah, I do. Vital Care is among my good people.
562-9370, or if you need them, call 911 and request
If you need a ride on Vital Care's ambulance, you call that. Now, if you need your hair done or you need your nails done, you call Cindy Power down in Pendergrass.
Pendergrass, what state's that in?
Huh?
What state's that
Georgia.
in? Georgia.
That's what she does for a living, as well as being a good Samaritan.
I reckon she'll pick up anybody walking alongside the road.
Evidently. Thanks, Cindy. And also the people at Pendergrass flea market, they let us, they would not charge a penny for us setting up in there. They have a flea market that is open during the day in a building, but their outside sales are limited to from 7 in the morning to 7 at night on Saturday and Sundays. And they have a pretty large size flea market there. So if you're down that way, be sure and drop in.
Well, they could tell you were a like-spirited person, couldn't they?
Yeah, I reckon. Mm-hmm. Incidentally, Cindy's husband makes doors.
He does?
Yeah. And I have the cards up there. I would give you her website, telephone number, or tell you how to reach her to get your hair done, you know. And I told her.
You mean to not use my new Floby blades?
I told her that this was an original no-hulk.
I'd say it is a no-hawk.
Yeah, an original no-hawk. We appreciate.
You got a long face, don't you?
Yeah, Dale, got a lot of face to wash.
Yeah.
But you know, it wasn't all that bad a trip. A lot of times when I go, I make such face trips that I hardly have time to say hey to anybody.
And this time you got socialized all over the place, didn't you?
Now, let me tell you, I broke down. I said, up here's the road. If you turn down that road, you go to my farm. Well, about that time, Kapow and I coasted in that road and parked. Well, not to be outdone, we immediately set up watermelons and cantaloupes on the outside. And as soon as the word got around that Bob Andrews was back in town,
they all left.
I know, you've never seen the number of people converging on that place to buy a few watermelons, a few tomatoes, a few cantaloupes, you know, and to see me, you know, because I've been gone roughly 14 years, and I didn't leave because I had to. Loved every one of them, friends to all of them. My children.
Well, you know, there's a few political opponents here claimed you got run off from North Carolina.
Not a word of truth in that. You know, I graduated 4 children from the big consolidated school over there. One was valedictorian, and 2 of them were May Queens. So
what's a May Queen?
Well, they have a homecoming queen, not May Queen, homecoming queen. And I had 2 very, well, I've got 5 real pretty daughters, but 2 of them were May Queen there at the real large consolidated high school. And 1 of them was valedictorian.
Well, that leaves 1 out. She's ugly and dumb,
No, that was a boy.
Oh.
That was the boy.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, we have 3 and 2's 5. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
I thought we'd lost a girl or
Let me tell you about the boy. They had a day at school. If their parents would take the kid's place, the kid could stay out of school. So as I went around from class to class, I went for my boy whose name was Talmadge. We called him Tal. And instead of asking where Tal's seat was, I said, where's Tal's bed? Because they claim he slept through every class, but he was very, very intelligent. He made good grades, but he never had to work for them, you know. Everything seemed to come easy.
Well,
that can be a blessing, or it could be.
There's easy and then there's hard. And there's more than one way to define hard.
Right.
But Dixie Concrete is the definition of hard.
That is the...
How'd you like that segue? How'd you like that segue?
I like that. You cannot beat Dixie Concrete for delivering a product that you can count on, that you can stand on, that you can beat on, that you can ride over,
that you can bury your mistakes under.
You can throw at somebody. It's Dixie Concrete, however you cut it up.
Yeah, and if you need to see a little of Dixie Concrete's work, go down to the local Food City and look at the floor.
Right. Yeah, you go down to Food City, big store down here for you folks who are from Pendergrass, Georgia. Big store down here. I don't know how many thousand square feet, and it looks like you're on a marble floor, but it's Dixie Concrete floor. Beautiful.
Yeah, it's pretty. You could make gravestones out of that, couldn't you?
Sure you could.
If we had anybody's dead.
Well, they'd probably lie about it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I had one fellow come down to borrow money 5 times in 1 year to bury the same brother.
Well, he kept getting away.
He just couldn't get him buried.
Did you ever ask him how many brothers he had?
I was the same one, didn't have one.
Couldn't get rid of him, could he?
Well, you know, you might come up to my place. Let me tell you some of the things I got up there. I've got a nice set of, or I got a 20-foot extension ladder. It'll make what, 40, big, real long. Probably, I don't know. I got a big extension ladder, aluminum for sale. Yeah, way up there, okay? And I know it's probably a 20-some foot.
What's a 20-some foot extension ladder worth these days?
whatever I can get out of it. I'm asking $35 for it. That should
Folks,
be
you
about a
can't beat that.
$65 savings.
You can't beat that.
I sold a new lawnmower. That's it
You
had
sold me a new lawnmower one
it
time.
had never-
Blades is wore out on it.
had never had gas put in this one.
What'd they run it
The
on?
brake hadn't ever been cranked. They had the breaking in oil in it. They had the quart of oil they furnished with it. It retailed for $2.99 plus tax. I had it for sale for $150.
Mm-hmm.
New. Fella come down, I said, oh, I'd give $140 for it. I said, now wait a minute. Where can you go buy a new $299 plus tax lawnmower for $150 off? I said, I wouldn't take $149.99 for it. I said, I've already priced it so cheap, I'm giving it to you. He peeled it off and paid for it.
Well, I always, when I say I'll take $150 and they say I'll give them $140, I say I'll take $160.
Well, I went up on the guy the other day. Now, so help me, I had $29 and something shovel. Nice shovel come from Lowe's. It'd been used maybe one time.
Just long enough to bury your neighbor.
Didn't even have, they must be burying one of them little ground squirrels with it, because it didn't even have paint wore off in where except the tip. And I told the fellow I'd take $10 for it. He says, I'll give you $5. I said, no. I said, I gave more than that for it. He came back and said, would you take $6? I said, no, I'll take $11. He said, you said you'd take 10 for it. I said, no, but you went down on me. He said, I would give you 7 for it. I said, I'll take 12. He said, but you said, and I said, no. I said, you keep going off me less than what I offered to you for, I'm going to keep going up. So finally, I would not sell it for him. So he sent somebody else over there to buy it. I said, well, I was going to let it go for 10, but I said, I'm going to have to have 15 for it now, and I sold it. He bought it for 15, he could have bought it for 10 to start with.
You see, that works out good sometimes.
Right. Well, folks, we've just about ruined an hour.
Yeah, and you got another phone call.
Okay.
Tune in again
I'm not
tomorrow
here.
night. Turn it.
I'm on the little show right now. We filmed it at 5, and so go and get my Mater sandwich ready, and I'll be down there. Okay. Okay.
Hello, Liz. Tune in again tomorrow night at
yeah.
7 o'clock. No, 8 o'clock. Right here, UGG TV or Channel 12. See you, folks.